Good afternoon, team. Thank you for joining us on our quarterly video conference call today. We're going to do things a little bit different than we usually do on these meetings. Today, we're going to go over where we think we're at as a company and where we think we could see ourselves going forward as we want to rebrand to a beverage company and not just Coca-Cola bottling. We want to be known for our beverages, and we want to just talk about some financials, some SWOT, and just basically where we see ourselves. And to kick us off, Forrest is going to take over for us.
Okay, so the history of Coca-Cola Bottling Company Consolidated started in 1902. Some entrepreneurs began bottling Coke in the Carolinas because they got tired of walking to their local drugstore to buy Coke from the fountain machine. And although you can trace the history back to 1902, the more recent history started in 1972 with Charlotte Coca-Cola Bottling Company, also renamed to Bottling Company of Mid-Carolinas. In 1972, they started to trade their stock publicly, and then they also started to expand farther into Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and Raleigh. Coca-Cola Bottling Company incorporated in Delaware on May 14th, 1980, and since incorporation, it has gone through some ups and downs. In the earlier history, they tried making a new Coke formula, and it didn't quite work out. There weren't a lot of people taking on to the new Coke. They've been in quite a few lawsuits for various reasons, and one of the positives lately was the expansion that they've seen throughout the 90s and early 2000s. All right, leading into our SWOT analysis, we're going to start with strengths. Coca-Cola Bottling Company has an existing distribution and sales network. They are currently in 14 states and still rapidly growing. Coca-Cola also invests a lot in R&D. This allows them to be very innovative and on the forefront of different market trends. This is shown through them starting to bottle coffee because they saw that this was something consumers wanted. They are the largest independent bottler in the United States, and Coca-Cola Bottling Company also has a large product line. I believe they have over 300 different items that they bottle and sell. Of course, they have the Coca-Cola, they have Dasani water, and they also have different energy drinks such as Monster that they do sell.
So I'm here today to talk about Coca-Cola Bottling Consolidated's weaknesses. Me and my team think one of their major weaknesses is that they don't advertise and market enough what they do for the community and how they really give back. They do lots of donations. For example, recently during the hurricanes, they gave a lot back and they donated lots of water to the victims. They also do a lot of recycling around the community. And another thing, they get all of their analytics from surveying from the freestyle Coke machines. They aren't everywhere, and we think that they could find more ways to get different answers about what people drink. This isn't really the only good way to do it because people usually do just stick to what they know, and they'll order just their plain Coca-Cola or Dr. Pepper, vice versa. I don't know what else to say.
So today I'm going to be going over some of the threats for the Coca-Cola Bottling Consolidated. Our book defines a threat as a condition in the general environment that may hinder a company's efforts to achieve strategic competitiveness. Our book also talks about one way to evaluate any threats coming your way is by scanning the external environment. Scanning involves identifying early signals of environmental changes and trends. Now, obviously, Coca-Cola has been doing this, or we wouldn't be doing this project. They're wanting to change into a bottling company because they've recognized one of their threats is going to be the new healthy trend, everyone going vegan, organic. So that's going to be a threat to them because it can lead to a decrease in soft drinks. Another threat is going to be obviously their biggest competitor, Pepsi. Anywhere you go now, it's either they exclusively sell Pepsi products or they exclusively sell Coke products. So Coca-Cola is going to have to increase their market segments and get more customers that way. Another threat to them could be any increases in the cost of the materials they currently use, such as their concentrates, artificial sweeteners, the plastic, the cans, any of the materials that goes into it, as well as increases in machinery and stuff like that they use. Then lastly, a threat that we identified is going to be any changes in regulations from the government as far as what ingredients go into their drinks or any disclaimers they have to make about their drinks. So that's going to be the threats today for Coca-Cola.
So I'm going to be talking about some of the opportunities Coca-Cola Bottling Consolidated has in front of them. One of the first is the new line of Japanese teas called kombucha. A lot of people are making them. You see them in Whole Foods. Coca-Cola should get on top of that and have their own name brand version of kombucha tea. And the same with the smoothies. Pepsi had the Naked line a while ago. They're involved in a lawsuit now and dropped the ball on their claims on that product. So I think Coca-Cola should pick that smoothie idea up and run with it. One of the other ideas we had as a group was Coca-Cola should start building ground up their bottling plants instead of retooling and redoing ones that had previously been owned by other people, to just streamline it and make that whole process easier and more efficient. One of the other opportunities Coca-Cola has in front of them is they need to play up some of the things they're already doing well, but maybe not taking as much credit for as they could be, such as community work and recycling and things like that they've always traditionally been socially conscious about. Our last idea was for the younger kind of generation, the Gen Z or whatever we're calling them. Put in-app advertising. Those kids are on apps and games all the time. Maybe like a cartoon character series of, Coca-Cola characters, toys, advertisements, games. You got to get that next generation.
Now, as far as financials are concerned, if we look back at the 2016 numbers for last year, our current ratio was 1.3. So, meaning our assets were well over what would be needed if we had to liquidate and cover some of our current liabilities. And it was on par with the year before, sitting at a 1.33. Our debt to asset ratio in 2016 was looking around 85%. However, a good portion of the liabilities were due to long-term debt, so it's not as significant, seeing as those have at least over another year before they'll come due. And then as far as current quarter, our net sales were up 137% over where we were at in the 2016 quarter at this time last year. So that's looking really good. Our net income did drop a little bit compared to last year's numbers, but we're on par to just kill it in the last quarter coming up, so it shouldn't be a big deal. So as we're getting ready to close out Q4, I know we just started Q4, but we're going to finish out strong. We have some recommendations and ideas for going into 2018. So as everyone's aware, we are wanting to rebrand as a beverage company and not so much just sticking to the soda of our image. So based on that, we've come up with a few ideas, mainly based off of our opportunities, but also just some ideas off the cusp. So what we're thinking is definitely running with the opportunity of coming out with new drinks, more things like protein shakes or smoothies. Like Pepsi has lawsuits for Naked because they didn't live up to what they were claiming that smoothie offered to their clients, and that's something we can just pick up because they lost out on that, and teas and just different things like that, and get the ball rolling on it, putting out some more drinks in addition to our sodas. Another option would be when we go into these new markets and keep expanding as we'd like to see ourselves doing over the next couple years, is to brand ourselves from the get-go as a beverage company to the nearby clients. So when we call up to sell and try to get more clients for our bottling and our deliveries, kind of brand ourselves from the get-go as, we're Coca-Cola Bottling Consolidated, a beverage company. Kind of make it like a sub-header, brand, like Coca-Cola Consolidated Bottling, a beverage company, so that people know, or just something along the line, so people know, hey, we've got different beverages, not just this, and sending those potential clients, ads of what all drinks we offer, flyers of what all drinks we offer, how we do in-house making of those drinks and bottling and everything. And then another option on that is to even just put out flyers, mailer flyers for our nearby markets, in-ad newspaper flyers, or digital ads, really, with Facebook and Google and everything like that, just putting out ads that are like, hey, Coca-Cola Consolidated, here are some of our options, like coupons for some of our other drinks, like Fairlife and things like that, the Yup, and just some of our other drinks, and kind of put like some ads out for those or coupons out for those, and kind of gear our marketing towards some of those drinks that aren't soda, because everyone's going to naturally buy the soda. I mean, that's just, like, people just do, especially with the Coca-Cola name. So if we want to kind of steer away from necessarily advertising the Coca-Cola side of things, because they'll just get that anyways, and kind of gear our marketing towards our other drinks and put our dollars into that, because we definitely have the revenue to do so. So I think that should be our main driving focus, is just to dive right in on our other beverages and kind of back off a little bit of the soda marketing, because that'll come with Coca-Cola corporate as a whole anyways. So those are just some of our recommendations to think about. If you have any more tips or anything, of course, email us or set up a conference call with us, and we'll add those to next quarter's initiative. Thank you.